All right, so today we're gonna rebuild this SLX 7100. This also applies to the 7120. They're pretty much the same thing. Some tools you're gonna need are some Allen keys, some pliers, screwdriver, and a pick. Also, yeah, this cage is broken here, but you know, that's modern derailleurs for you. There you go. All right, so now time to do the clutch and the spring here. First thing you're gonna do, make sure your clutch is off in this position right here. Pull the cage back. You're gonna unscrew that little pin right there. Grab your screwdriver and unscrew it. Let the cage spring back. You wanna pull up parallelogram like that. And then it springs out. There you go. And now just unscrew the cover. All right, so we got the bolts unscrewed. Just pop the cover off. There's also a little gasket right here. I'm gonna pop that off as well, like that. Now for the clutch, just grab it, you pull it up, just pops off like that, pretty easy. Now we have this lever over here. You can service it if you want. You don't have to though. Just grab your pick, nudge that clip off. You want to rotate it around so you can get it out, like so, and then just pull out the lever. There you go. Now for the spring, just put your 4mm in here and crack it loose. Could be kind of tight sometimes, but yeah, there you go. This thing comes off. We got the spring. Spring kind of unhooks like that. Got that seal on there as well. There's also a little washer right here. And this thing pops out as well. And now for this hanger bolt here, you don't have to take it apart to service it. There's no springs in here. But in case you broke one of these things, I'll just show you how to take it apart. There's this tiny thin little clip right here. You want to grab some needle nose pliers, kind of push it out like that. Once you got it nudged out like that, grab your pick and just kind of pop it out. That's gone. Never seen that again. This thing just unscrews like so. And the bolt comes out. There you go. And now for the clutch, you want to pull this apart too. You want to grab a pick or a flathead screwdriver. If you have a flathead screwdriver, just twist it. If you have a pick, just push it through like that, and the clutch will pop out. There you go. All right, so now we got everything nice and taken apart. Now it's time to clean. For this, you can use a cleaner or a degreaser. You want to use alcohol, simple green. But if you're using something harsher like brake cleaner or acetone, you want to stay away from plastic and rubber like the cover, the gasket, and painted stuff like the parallelogram or the cage. You can also use like a nylon brush or a toothbrush as well. And in my case, I'm using this ultrasonic cleaner. All I'm using is water and dish soap. And if you do have an ultrasonic cleaner, here's some stuff to leave out. You want to leave out the clutch cylinder and the little tensioner. I just leave them out just so they won't rust. And I also like to leave these out as well, just because they're usually not very dirty. And you don't want this to rust as well. So yeah, there you go. All right, so now we got everything all nice and cleaned down. And for assembly, I'm gonna use some grease, this ram butter stuff for the pulleys. And for the clutch, you can either use some Park Tool blue grease. You can also use the Shimano Turtle hub grease, and they make grease specifically for the clutches. And also I'm going to use this Shimano premium stuff. So yeah. All right, and starting with the hanger bolt, I just put some SRAM butter on the inside of here. Just get it nice and lubricated. Pop the bolt in like that. And grab your little retainer thing. This is how you want it to sit, like that. And then go ahead and screw it in. You want to screw it on until it comes off of the threads like that. Now grab your clip and pop it on. There you go. All right, now time for the spring. You just want to grease up the inside of this area. Nice and good, and grease up your spring. Pop it in. Pretty simple the way it goes in. Now you got your seal. Also pretty simple the way it goes in. You want that tab meshing with the other tab right there. pop it in like that. Now you have your shaft as well. You want to grease that up, slide it in like so. Now you want to grab your cage. You want to make sure that washer is on there. This is how it's supposed to look. You want to have that groove facing up, and you want to join the two together. Make sure the spring engages with that little hole. You want to kind of hook it in there. Make sure it stays in. Grab your 4mm and screw it on. And yeah, you just want to screw this on snug, and yeah, just make sure it moves nice and smooth. Now we got our lever. Just put a little bit of saran butter on there and go ahead and stick it through there like that. Just pop it in. Now just grab your clip and pop it on. You want to make sure the lever is all the way up. There you go. And yeah, just make sure it moves nice and smooth. All right, so now time for the clutch. You want to clean on the inside of this really well with some brake cleaner. Then I got my blue Parcel grease. You just want something that's thick and heat resistant. You want to clean this off nice and good. Now we have our band. As you can tell, there's a short side and a long side. You want the short side facing down. So this is exactly how we're going to put it on. And grab the two, mesh the two together with it wedged open like so. And then pull it out, and there you go. All right, so before you put the clutch on, you want to clean off the shaft. This is where these bearings roll on. You also want to get a paper towel, some brake cleaner, and clean this out really good because you don't want any grease on there at all. So yeah, clean that out nice and good. And this is, now we have our clutch. This is exactly how it goes on. We have our little clamp thing. There's a little hole on the bottom that meshes with that little stud right there. And you just put these two together. Again, you want the side with no hole. You want that facing up. And there's also this barrel. Let's use like a thicker part to it. You want that to be not touching the band so it's not putting any pressure on it. So just line these up. You want to put these on at the same time. There you go. All right, so now that we got the clutch on, what we're going to do, grab the cage. You want to turn it counterclockwise all the way around. Pull up the parallelogram as you're doing this. All the way around, counterclockwise. And then grab your pin and screw it in that little hole. All right, so yeah, once we got the clutch on, just make sure the cage moves nice and smooth. And it's going to feel a lot stiffer when you have the clutch on than when you have it off. If you turn it off, it's going to be a lot easier to move. Yeah, and a very easy way to tell if you have enough tension on your clutch is when you have it on, you just want to turn the lever off and you want to see the band widen as you do it, like that. All right, now time to put the cover back on. You want to have your O-ring. I like to put a little saran butter on it just to keep out the dirt and the water. So just pop it on. Make sure it's all in the groove there, seated nice and good. And grab your cover and pop it on. And then just screw on your bolts. All right, now time for the pulleys. We have our guide pulley here. This is what we usually say guide pulley on it. And the tension pulley also says tension pulley on it, so you know where to put those. Now you want to grease up the inside of the steel bushing, and grab your other steel bushing. Grease up the inside of that. Slide the two together. So, and then put on your seals. All right, now then grab your cage, grab your bolt, and screw it on. This cage has seen better days for sure. Yeah, and for the tension pulley, same story. You want to grease it up nice and good. You want to make sure you have the darker little bushing right here. And when you put the tension pulley on, you want to make sure the lettering is on the back side. You want it to be spinning counterclockwise from the back. And yeah, then just put on your clamp bolt. That's how it goes on. Also oiled up all these pivots and greased up the spring over there. And yeah, now you got yourself a fully rebuilt derailleur. There you go.